Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by Interest.co.nz. This week, everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news we're slipping in the world of innovation. But first in the US, house building starts dropped for the third month in a row in May and are 2.4% lower than the same month a year earlier. And that is despite housing completions being 14.6% higher on the same basis. The worry is that builders are starting fewer housing units in response to softer demand signals. Building permits issued are also down a bit less than 1%. Political uncertainty may be behind the hesitation. The latest survey of consumer sentiment shows a fall, but the surveyors note that even though it was a modest 2.6% drop, that is masking a steeper fall as the month wore on in June. And they put that down to the unsettling and partisan events in Washington, which is having a flow-on effect on consumer spending plans. A hesitant American consumer can have ripple effects on the world economy. Last week's US Federal Reserve hike actually came with one dissenter. It's not the first time he has dissented, but he wrote about his reasons over the weekend, and they essentially hinge around the inflation track and a belief the Phillips curve signals are not being reflected in actual data, something Janet Yellen was at pains to point out are noisy. And staying in the US and around the theme of innovation, we should note that tech powerhouse Amazon has acquired a leading supermarket chain there, Whole Foods. Amazon is embarking on a new way to sell groceries, and this deal seriously jump-starts the process. The new way involves checkoutless buying, and if it works, and most Amazon initiatives seem to work out amazingly well, the future supermarket will be one where you walk in, place items in your shopping cart, and walk out with no checkout line at all. You pay via your Amazon account. The developments after that will get more futuristic. The annual Global Innovation Index was released late last week, and New Zealand has slipped floor paces to 21st in the world. A small consolation is that we're ahead of the Australians, who are at 23rd. In Asia, we're ranked number 5, ahead of China and Australia, but behind Singapore, Korea, Japan and Hong Kong. We do rank number 1 in the subgroups of political stability, ease of starting a business, ease of getting credit, and protecting minority shareholders. But we're let down in the areas of graduates in science and engineering, gross capital formation, GDP per unit of energy, and FDI inflows and GDP per capita. We score number 4 for government effectiveness and number 3 for regulatory quality. Embarrassingly, our public sector scores hold us up. Our private sector scores let us down. In France, it looks like centrist President Macron is headed for a majority support in their parliamentary elections. Both the hard left and the hard right, including the National Front, will almost be wiped out. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield is still at 2.15%. The price of oil will start the week up just marginally from this time on Friday at just under $45 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is now just under $47.50 a barrel. And the price of gold will start unchanged at $1,254 an ounce. Gold bulls are still out there, however. The Kiwi dollar is a little stronger today. Against the greenback is at 72.5 US cents. On the cross rates, we're at 95.2 Aussie cents and 64.8 euro cents. The TWI is now at 76.7. That's a 15-week high. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by Interest.co.nz.